Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the state of Tennessee, Lake County ship. And today's date is early Sunday morning, February 19, 2017, time 4 o'clock a.m. I first say thank you to all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. I'll continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area. I continue to further my education, moral conduct, and I pursue my social research and business administration, concentration of marketing. And the music you hear in the background, that's the African nation of Senegal. And we use the stream and the radio station, radio does sound. It's in the capital of Dakar. Radio does sound. And what I'm doing right now is do Instagram. Do Instagram. Say hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county seat in the state of Tennessee. And today's date is early Sunday morning, February 19, 2017, time 4:03 a.m. First, I thank all my fans, my support, for the encouragement and support. And the music here in the background is the African nation Senegal, and using streaming and radio station and radio still singing. And turn the volume down. And like I say, I want to say hello to everybody in African Nation Synagogue and everywhere else. And I want to take this moment first say thank you to all the men and the women serving in our United States Armed Forces, them and their family in our thoughts and prayers, all the men and women working in law enforcement, them and their family in our thoughts and our prayers, all our elected officials, public servants, all the people who are employed in federal, state, and local government, them and their families in our thoughts and prayers. I want to thank God first, give praise to God, and thank God for all our blessings, for all His blessings, and for His guidance. I want to thank the United States government for passing laws to make us safe from crime, from organized crime, from gangs, and from other crimes as well. And we thank the United States government for laws such as the Organized Crime Control Act, as well as the Racketeers Influence Corrupt Organizations Act. We thank the United States government for the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act, as well as related laws to the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act. We thank the United States government for the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. We thank the United States government for the comprehensive anti-gang initiative, as well as the comprehensive gang model. We thank the United States government for the GREAT program, which stands for gang resistance, education, and training. We thank the United States government for the violence prevention. We thank the United States government for all that they do to make us safe. And we're going to continue to pray to God that He continue to put a shield around us and bless us with His blessings and continue to guide us, because we need His guidance. And we're going to end today's video, and like I say, thank my fans, my support, people continue to encourage and support. Until my next video, you take care of yourself, and I wish each and every one of you very best. Now we're going to go to Periscope. know anybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. Then right here in the city of Memphis, is in the county series in the state of Tennessee. And today is date, early Sunday morning, February 19, 2017, time 4:13 a.m. And the music you hear in the background, that's the African Nation Synagogue. That's the African Nation Synagogue. And the radio station we use to stream radio station radio feels same, feels so same. And turn the volume down. Turn the volume down. On today's video, we're gonna continue to talk about African traditional religion. As you know, African traditional religion is being taught in institutions of higher learning, meaning colleges and universities in sub-Saharan Africa. You know, you can earn a bachelor's degree, you can earn a bachelor's degree, you can earn a PhD studying African traditional religion. Now, what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna look at a map so we can know where sub-Saharan Africa is located. Just my seat. Now, this is the African languages distribution map. And it shows you the languages that the people speak, and it shows you where the people live on the continent of Africa. And it also shows you sub-Saharan Africa. Now, that blue color represents the Afro-Asiatic, the yellow color represents the Nilo-Saharan, the dark orange color represents the Niger-Congo A, the light orange color represents the Niger-Congo B, the Bantu. Now over on the side, it shows you what the color represents. It shows you that blue color represents the Afro-Asiatic, the yellow color represents the Nilo-Saharan, the dark orange color represents the Niger-Congo A, the light orange color represents the Niger-Congo B, the Bantu, and green color, it represents two groups of people. Excuse me. The Kwai people. The Kwai people are the pastoralists. The Kwai people are the pastoralists. And the San people. The San people are the hunter-gatherers. They are the hunter-gatherers. Now, over there on the island of Madagascar, that purple lavender color, that's the Austronesians. Now, the Austronesians are the people that live in Indonesia. And the people in Indonesia, they left Indonesia, they migrated, they colonized and settled the island of Madagascar. They're not the original inhabitants of the island of Madagascar. This is a Niger-Congo language distribution map. Niger-Congo language of primary branch, the Volta Congo, South Volta, Bantu, Bantu beside Bantu, your other East Benue Congo, your West Benue Congo, and your Kwai, your North Volta, Kru, Sinufo, your Gerbolta language, your Adamant, your Bunyan language. Your other primary branches, your Cordofan, your Mandi, your Atlantic, and your Dogon. This is a Niger Congo language distribution map. Your Atlantic branch, Wolos and Fule, your Mandi, Bambare, Manika, Dayule, your Kru, your Gur, Moor language, your Kwe, Bali, Akan, Iwa, your Dogon, your Ajoy, your Adamant, your Bunyan language, your Baye, Banda, and Zandi, your Cordofani, your non-Bantu, your Ru and Igbo, your Bantu, Fang, Tiki, Lingale, Mongo, and Kondu, your Congo, your Choki, Lube, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Sukume, and Kikuyu, your Bantu, Swahili, Makawe, Nyanje, Bembe, Shone, Tasange, Northern Soto, Zulu, Southern Soto, Kosa, Tiswane, and Dange, Umbundu. There are many other Niger Congo speaking groups of people that are not listed on this map. This is an Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. Afro-Asiatic. It's an Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. Now, as you know, your Afro-Asiatic is a large language family of several hundred related languages and dialects, comprised of about 300 or so living languages and dialects, and includes language spoken predominantly in the Middle East, North Africa, the Horn of Africa, and parts of the Sahel. Now, there are 6 branches of Afro-Asiatic: Berber, Chadic, Cushitic, Egyptian, Omatic, and Semitic. That's the Afro-Asiatic. Now, this is a Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. Now, your Nilo-Saharan language are proposed family African languages spoken by some 50 to 60 million native people, mainly in the upper parts of the Chari and Nile rivers, including historic Nubia, north of where the two tributaries of the Nile meet. Now, the languages extend through 17 nations in the northern half of Africa, from Algeria to Benin in the west, from Libya to the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the center, from Egypt to Tanzania in the east. Now, the major languages of the Nilo-Saharan languages, the Luo, the Kanuri, the Sangay, the Tiso, the Nubian, the Bare, Mandan Marguita languages, Lango, Dinka, the Choli, your Nur, your Maasai, your Ngambe, your Fur, your Tubu, and that's your Nilo-Saharan language. We're going to do our reading on African traditional religion. Our first book we're going to read from is titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omasede Malelu and Dr. P. Adelumo Dupemu. Okay. We're reading from chapter 8, Mysterious Powers. And we're reading from 8:1, Magic and Medicine. Now, since magic and medicine cannot be separated, and since what is common to them is also found in religion, it follows that magic, medicine, and religion cannot be separated also. Magic and medicine form one aspect of religion, and the three have coexisted throughout the ages. Any distinction made between them is that of approach and operation or technique. We can now look at how magic and medicine are operated. In magic, man uses two techniques. The first is homeopathic magic, which works on the principle that light produces light, or on the principle of similarity. That is, the similarity between the act performed and the result expected. For example, water may be spewed into the air in a ceremonial way to make rain fall. Furthermore, a Yoruba man who wants to prevent unfaithfulness in his wife may do the following. He will place the back of a dead gecko on the ground, on his stomach. He will put an alligator pepper, swat over the gecko, and pass feces on it. He will cover it with a new pot for 7 days and let it decay with the feces. He will later take the alligator pepper on the 7th day and at an appointed and opportune time throw one of its seeds on the body of the woman. It is believed that just as the man squats and passes feces on the gecko, so also when any man that has sexual intercourse has sexual intercourse with the woman, has feces simultaneously on a woman during sexual intercourse. When this happens very often, the woman will desist from her adulterous ways. We can quote endless examples of homeopathic magic among West Africans. The second technique is contagious magic, which is based on the belief that things that have once been joined can affect one another. Thus, a woman's footprint may be treated magically to secure her love. A man can be harmed through his hair, nails, clothing, sleeping mat, placenta, navel cord, feces, spittle, footprint, chewing stick, and anything belongs to him. Even his name is regarded as belonging to him and can be harmed through it. That is why people take care of anything and everything that belongs to them to avoid an enemy getting hold of them for harmful intention. Parents bury the placenta and navel cord of their babies without allowing people to see them. Okay, we're going to stop right there. And we just got through reading. We just got through reading from the 8-1 Magic and Medicine. And we just read from the chapter Mysterious Power, chapter 8, Mysterious Power. And we just read from the book titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omasede Ebalelu and Dr. P. Adelumo Dopegu. We're going to continue our reading from the book titled African Traditional Religion and Definition, written by Dr. E. Aloja Adowu. We read from chapter 5, the structure of African traditional religion. We read from number 5, the practice of magic and medicine. Magic certainly finds a place in the practice of medicine. In fact, the two can become so interlinked as to make it difficult to know where one ends and the other begins. This is because both are connected with the transcendental power. Ea, whom the Babylonians believed to be the great physician of humanity, is also said to play the most prominent role in the incantation texts. It would be this apparently inevitable intermingling of magic and medicine in Africa that has led certain investigators to conclude that the term medicine should be used to embrace both. For example, Nadell uses medicine in this way and justifies himself by saying, the Nuke word translated medicine is ambiguous in that it refers both to skills of an esoteric and miraculous kind and to healing practices which are public, profane, and acquired by ordinary learning. Further, Let me say first of all that medicine is the literal translation of the vernacular term, which is applied not only to magic substances but also to medicine, herbs, or drugs of any kind, native as well as European, whose properties are assessed essentially empirically. To this in general, MJ Field will agree. Magic, or as it more often called in West African medicine, always involves concrete apparatus and a ritual in which this apparatus is handled. There is no activity in life which cannot be assisted by medicine. A hunter can medicine his gun and his bullets to make them unerring. His dog to make it flee. Himself to make him invisible. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. And we just read from number 5, the practice of magic and medicine. And we read from chapter 5, the structure of African traditional religion. And we just read from the book title, African Traditional Religion, a definition written by Dr. E. Baloja Adowu. We're going to continue our read from the book title, African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. M. B. And we read from chapter 7, the worship of God. And we read from 8, sacrifices and offerings. The Ale have several occasions when they make sacrifices and offerings to God. Hunters do so when they have no success in hunting, as well as when they have killed an animal. Travelers do so when they come to a river by taking some of the water, squirting on the ground, and offering the water to God with a prayer that he would lead, shepherd, and prosper them. When a man is smoking his pipe in the morning, he offers some of the smoke to God by blowing it and thanking him for raising him in health that day and asking him to give him a prosperous day. During a serious illness, the head of the family offers food and water which he places on the right threshold of the house, praying God to heal the sick. Okay. It is reported that the Yoruba make many types of sacrifices and offerings, which constitute the essence of Yoruba religion. Almost all types of food and drinks and living things are used for this purpose, as the Yoruba excel in a number of divinities which they recognize. It is these divinities who are the recipients, though in practice the worshippers are the ones who eat. what has been given. In order to invoke special blessing, human beings were formerly sacrificed, and this may not even have died out altogether. Meal and drink offerings are made daily at the shrine. Gift offerings are made to the divinities in appreciation for success, health, and children, and propitiation offerings and sacrifices are made during drought, famine, or serious illness. The people also make substitutionary sacrifices and offerings when it is required to alter an agreement, while others are made to ward off attacks, evil, or misfortune, or to appease the spirit of the earth. Every fourth night, Yaru blacksmiths sacrifice dogs to Ogun, the divinity of iron and war. I'll stop right there. Okay, we just read from A, Sacrifice and Offerings, chapter 7, the worship of God. And we just read from the book titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S.M.B. We're going to continue our reading from the book titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S.M.B. And we read from part 4, God and Man. And we read from number 17, Worship, Prayers, and Other Appeals to God. And we read from Prayers. The Sunjo, consider can they give you the national hero to be in an intermediary position between them and God. They believe that he takes note of their prayers, and they mention him when praying. For example, in a short prayer they say, Father Rio, Father Kambagiyu, bless us and open for us the sluices of Belvey. Prayers are made for benefits like bearing children, good crops, fertility of goats, recovery from sickness, and prevention of diseases. All the Tukane men who have been initiated are expected to pray on behalf of the community. They do so under the leadership of the senior men, praying formally at most meat feasts and other ceremonies like weddings. When someone is sick or thought to be bewitched, a small group prays together for him. It is believed that although God is benevolent towards the people, they must constantly solicit his help. Among the Tulu, it is the priests who lead in prayer and sacrifice for rain. At the chief shrine, the prayers are brief, committing the sacrifice and offerings to God and asking him to let rain come. Among the Urhobo, it is the head of each family who makes daily offerings to God's messenger, praying for health, wealth, children, and peace. In the Isoko area, God is addressed as Our Father. The Vagusu solicit God's help for various undertakings and needs such as war, hunting, traveling, and the like. In the morning, they greet the new day with a short prayer. When leaving the house, the adults look towards the rising sun, spit once, then look west and spit again. The morning prayer says, Po, God, may the day dawn well. Mayest thou spit upon us the medicine, so that we may walk well. At other times they also pray to be defended against the evil divinity, asking God to drive him away. Prayers are said to be at the heart and center of Yoruba religious life. The people pray and worship at any time and at any place, even when they are on their way to the shrine. At the shrine, people kneel throughout, and some individuals go there every morning before they speak to anyone else. Prayers are for material blessings like protection against sickness and death, children, victory over one's enemies, and longevity. We'll stop right there. And we just read from the book titled Concept. Okay, we just read from prayers. And we read from number 17, worship, prayers, and other appeals to God. And we read from part 4, God and Man. And we just read from the book titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S.M. Beatty. Now, we're going to go on, continue on, and now we're going to continue our emphasis and our focus on the anti-gang initiative, and we're going to continue with our looking up the words in Merriam-Webster dictionary and thesaurus. Now, I have, as you can see, I have a Merriam-Webster dictionary. Everybody, Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I have a Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Turn my chair around here. Now, we know how important it is to know, to have the complete and total meaning of the words. And now, gonna continue to begin with the word argument. Now you have valid argument, you have invalid argument, you have a deductive argument, and you have an inductive argument. You have a conductive argument and you have an abductive argument. You have a sound argument and you have an unsound argument. Now you have a defeasible argument, a transitional argument, and a transcendental argument. You also have a Rogerian, a Tolman, and a classical argument. You have an Aristotelian or adversarial argument, and you have a Rogerian or consensus building argument. You have a practical argument, and you also need to know the meaning of premise, conclusion, reference, and research. Now, we're going to go to Merriam-Webster dictionary thesaurus, and we also going to go to dictionary.com, thesaurus.com. So we're going to start with Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's get the pronunciation. Argument.
Argument.
Argument. Now, the definition of argument is a noun. Number one, A, the act or process of arguing, reasoning, or discussion, argumentation. B, a coherent series of reasons, statements, or facts intended to support or establish a point of view. A defense attorney's close the argument. C, an angry quarrel or disagreement, having an argument over about money. Number two, A reason given for or against a matter under discussion. B, a form of rhetorical expression intended to convince or persuade. 3, an abstract or summary expression of a literary work. Number 4, the subject matter expression of a literary work. Number 5, A, mathematics, one of the independent variables upon whose value that of a function depends. B, grammar, a substantive such as direct object of a transitive verb that is required by a predicate in grammar. C, mathematics, amplitude. Number 6, obsolete, an outward sign, indication. So that's argument. Now you have examples of argument in a sentence. Now the origin and etymology of argument. Now for all the little girls and little boys, etymology, that's referred to Wikipedia. Now, as you know, when you refer to Wikipedia, it tells you that etymology falls under the linguistics. It falls up under the branch of linguistics. Now, you have theoretical linguistics, descriptive linguistics, applied and experimental linguistics. So let's go to linguistics first here. Now, linguistics is the scientific study of language and involves an analysis of language form, language meaning, and language and context. The earliest activities in the documentation and description of language have been attributed to the 4th century BCE and Indian grammarian Panini, who wrote a formal description of the Sanskrit language in his Yai. Now, etymology is the study of the history of words, their origin, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. By extension, the term, the etymology of a word means the origin of a particular word. So this Go back over here to argument. The origin and etymology of argument, Middle English, from Anglo-French, from Latin argumentum, from argue. First known use 14th century. Then you have argument defined for English language learners. Argument defined for kids. Now the law dictionary argument, legal definition of argument, number one, reason, or the reasoning given for or against a matter under discussion. Compare evidence of proof. Number two, the act or process of arguing, reason, or discussing, especially oral argument. Okay, now let's refer to over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now, as the Merriam-Webster thesaurus, there are synonyms and antonyms of argument. So let's go over here to dictionary.com. To get the pronunciation. Argument. And now, number one, an oral disagreement, verbal opposition, contention, altercation, a violent argument. Number two, a discussion involving different points of view, debate. Number three, a process of reasoning, series of reasoning. Number four, a statement, reason, or fact for or against a point. Number five, an address or composition intended to convince or persuade. Persuasive discourse. Number six, subject matter, theme. Number seven, abstract or summary of the major points in a work of prose or poetry or sections of such a work. Now, the origin of argument, Old French, Middle English, Latin. 1325, 1375, Middle English, Old French, Latin, argumentum. Argument. Now you have related form. You have examples from the web for argument, the British Dictionary definition for argument, word origin and history for argument. Argument and technology and idioms and phrases of argument. Now, thesaurus.com. Now, as you know, the Merriam-Webster dictionary thesaurus, the Merriam-Webster thesaurus doesn't have a pronunciation. It's not giving you a pronunciation, but when you go over here to dictionary.com, thesaurus.com, thesaurus.com gives you, it gives you a pronunciation. So let's get the pronunciation of argument. Argument. Now you have synonyms for argument. You have antonyms for argument. You have words related to argument. Now over here to your right, you have the word origin and history argument, late 14th century statements and reason in support of the proposition. From French, argument. From Latin, argumentum, from argue, to argue. Then you have example sentence for argument. Now let's go back over to Merriam-Webster. We're going to look up argue. Now we over here on the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's get the pronunciation of argue. Argue. It's a verb. The definition of argue, and transitive verb, number one, to give reason for or against something. Reason. Number two, to contend or disagree in words, dispute. Transitive verb, number one, to give evidence of, indicate. Number 2, to consider the pros and cons of, discuss. Number 3, to prove or try to prove by giving reasons, maintain. Number 4, to persuade by giving reason, induce. Now you have examples of argue in a sentence. Now the origin and etymology of argue. Middle English from Anglo-French argue, to reprove, argue. And Latin argue, to demonstrate, prove, Anglo-French. Anglo-French argue, from Latin argutere, to print. First known use 14th century. Now you have synonym discussion of argue. Phrase related to argue. Argue defined for English language learners. Argue defined for kids. Now the law dictionary for argue. And transfer verb, number 1, to give reason for or against a matter in dispute. Number 2, to present a case in court. Transfer verb, number 1, A, to give reason for or against. B, to prove or try to prove by giving reason or evidence. Number 2, to present in court. Now let's go over to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Argue is a verb. You have synonyms and antonyms of argue. And let's go over to dictionary.com. Get the pronunciation.
Argue.
Argue. Verb used without object. Number 1, to present reason for or against a thing. Number 2, to contend or disagree, dispute. Now you have verb used with object. Number 3, to state the reason for or against. Number 4, to maintain a reason. Number 5, to persuade, drive, etc. by reasoning. Number 6, to show, prove, imply, indicate. The origin of argue, Old French, Middle English, and Latin, 1275, 1325. Latin, Middle English, Anglo-French, Old French, argue, Latin, argutere. Related forms, synonyms. Now you have examples from the web for argue. You had a British dictionary definition for argue. You have your word origin and history for argue. And click over to thesaurus.com. Let's get the pronunciation.
Argue.
Argue. Now you have synonyms for argue. You have antonyms for argue. And you have words related to argue. Now over here to your right, you have your word origin and history. Argue from 13th century, from Old French. Argue from Latin argutere. Now scroll down, you have an example sentence for argue. And let's click back over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary and thesaurus. So we can look up the word gang. Because we know our emphasis and focus on anti-gang initiative. We're on Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's get the pronunciation.
Gang.
Gang is a verb. Now the definition of gang, Scotland. The nation of Scotland is an intransitive verb meaning go. Means go. And you have related to gang. Then you have the origin and etymology of gang, Middle English from Old English, ganging, akin to Lithuanian Zintai, to stride, first known use before the 12th century. And you have definition of gang. Now, number 1, A. A set of articles outfit a gang of oils. Number two, a combination of similar implements or devices arranged for convenience to add together a gang of saws. B, group such as one, a group of persons working together. Number two, a group of persons working to unlawful or antisocial ends, especially banned or antisocial adolescents. Number two, a group of persons having informal and usually close social relations, watching TV with a gang. Now you have examples of gang in the sentence, the origin and etymology of gang. Middle English, walking, journey. From Old English, akin to Old English, ganging. First known use, 14th century. Gang is a verb. Definition of gang, transitive verb. Number one, A, to assemble or operate simultaneously as a group. B, to arrange in or produce as a gang. Number two, to attack in a gang. Intransitive verb, to move or act as a gang. The origin and etymology of gang, first known use 1791. Now you got gang defined for English language learner, gang defined for kids. Now the law dictionary, gang is a noun. Legal definition of gang, a group of persons associating for antisocial and often criminal purposes and activities. Now let's click over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. It's a noun. You have synonyms and antonyms of gang. Now let's click over here to the dictionary.com. Let's get the pronunciation. Dictionary.com. Gang. Gang. Now, noun. Number one, a group or band. Number two, a group of youngsters or adolescents who associate closely, often exclusively for social reasons, especially such a group engaging in delinquent behavior. Number three, a group of people with compatible tastes or mutual interest who gather together for social reasons. Number four, a group of persons working together, squad, shift. Number five, a group of persons associated for some criminal or other antisocial purpose. Number six, a set of tools, electronic components or circuits, or etc. arranged to work together or simultaneously. Number seven, a group of identical or related items. Verb used with object. Number eight, to arrange in groups or sets, forming to a gang. Number nine, to attack in a gang. Verb used without object. Number 10, to form or act as a gang. Verb phrase. Number 11, gang up on. The origin of gang. Middle English, Old English. 1300 or 1350. Gang or gone, manner of going, way, passage. Continent with Old High German, gang, Old Norse, ganger, Gothic, gag. Now you have synonyms. You have gang, verb, origin. Now you have an example from the web for gang. You have the British Dictionary definition for gang. Gang, verb, gang, noun. The word, origin, and history for gang. Slang definition and phrase for gang. Idioms and phrases with gang. And let's click over here to thesaurus.com. Now, let's get the pronunciation. Gang. Now you have synonyms for gang. You have antonyms for gang. And you have words related to gang. Now over here to your right, you have your word, origin, and history. Gang, Old English, going. Gang, Old English, gone, a going, a journey, a way, a passage, and Old Norse, ganger. A group of men, a set, both from gangers. Set of okay. Okay, by the 1620, this has been extended in nautical speed to mean a company of workmen. Okay, what's being used. Okay, just click expand here. Now, in advance Translation. Gangway preserves the original sense of the word as does gangplank. American English replacing earlier gang board to gang up on, and so on and so forth. Now you have example sentences for gang. Now let's click back over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary. We're gonna look up gangster. Get the pronunciation on Merriam-Webster dictionary thesaurus. Merriam-Webster dictionary. Get the pronunciation.
Gangster.
Gangster. Now the definition of gangster: a member of a gang of criminals, a racketeer. You have examples of gangster in the sentence. You got the first known use of gangster, 1884. And you also have gangster synonyms over here to your right over here. Then you have gangster defined for English language learners. You have gangster defined for kids. Now the law dictionary. The legal definition of gangster: a member of a gang of criminals. Okay, let's click over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. No, let me wait. Click back over here, dictionary. Okay, I had to go. Okay. Thesaurus. You have synonyms and antonyms of gangster. Okay, now dictionary.com. Now click over here to dictionary.com. Okay, get the pronunciation.
Gangster.
Gangster. Now, it's a noun. Number one, a member of a gang of criminals, especially a racketeer. The origin of gangster, 1895 to 1900. Americanism, gang plus stir. Gang plus stir. Now you have synonyms, sorry, like a mobster, hoodlum, a crook, a thug, a hood, a goon. Now you have examples from the web for gangster. You have the British Dictionary definition for gangster. The word origin and history for gangster. 1896 American English from gang in its criminal sense plus stir. Slang definitions and phrases for gangster. Now let's click over here to thesaurus.com. We'll go to thesaurus.com. Gangster. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Gangster.
Gangster. Now you have synonyms for gangster. You have antonyms for gangster. You have words related to gangster. Now over here, your word origin and history. Gangster, 1896, American English, from gang in its criminal sense. Gangland and so on and so forth. Now you have examples, sentences for gangster. Now let's click back over here to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. And get the definition of mob. Merriam-Webster, we're on the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Mob. You get the pronunciation.
Mob.
Mob. It's a noun. Definition of mob. Number one, a large or disorderly crowd, especially one bent on riotous or destructive action. Number two, the lower classes of a community, masses or rabble. Number three, chiefly Australian, a flock, drove or herd of animals. Number four, a criminal set, gang, especially often capitalized mafia. Number five, inform, a group of people, crowd. Now you have examples of mob in the sentence. Now the origin and etymology of mob. Latin, mobile vocus, facilitating crowd, first known use 1688. And you also have synonym discussion of mob and mob as a verb. Transitive verb. Number one, to crowd about and attack or ignore. Number two, to crowd into or around. You have examples of mob in the sentence. The first known use of mob, 1696. Phrase related to mob. You have mob defined for English language learners. You have mob as a verb. Mob defined for kids. Mob as a verb, definition of mob for students. So on and so forth. And just for conversation, you notice that there was no legal definition of mob. Everybody, went on Merriam-Webster. So just like, for example, gangster and gang. You understand? It was a legal definition for gang. Understand? But when it comes to mob, there was no legal definition for mob. Now let's click over to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now you have synonyms and antonyms of mob. So let's click over here to dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. Mob. It's a noun. Number one, a disorderly or riotous crowd of people. Number two, a crowd bent on or engaged in lawless violence. Number three, any group or collection of persons or things. Number four, the common people, the masses, populace or multitude. Number five, a criminal gang, especially one involved in drug trafficking, extortion. Number six, the mob, mafia. Number seven, socializing, a group of persons stimulating one another to excitement and losing ordinary rational control over their activity. Now you have an adjective, number nine, of, related to, or characteristic of a lawless, irrational, disorderly, or riotous crowd. Number 10, directed at or reflecting the lowest intellectual level of the common people. Verb used with object, mob or mobbing. Number 11, to crowd around noisily as from curiosity or hostility. Number 12, to attack in a riotous mob. Number 13, fox hunting, chop, and fox. Now the origin of mob, Latin, 1680, 1690. Short for Latin, mobile, bogus, immovable, changeable, inconstant, common people. Now you have example from the web. For mob, you have the British Dictionary definition for mob. Mob abbreviation, word origin, history for mob. Slang definition, phrase for mob. Related abbreviation for mob. Now let's click over here to the thesaurus.com. Get the pronunciation. Mob. Now you have synonyms for mob. You have antonyms for mob. You have words related to mob. And then look over to the right. Word origin and history. Mob, 1680s. Disorderly part of the population, rabble. Slang, shortening of mobile. Mobility, common people. Populace, rabble. 1670s from Latin, mobile vocus. Fickle, common people. 1600 in English. for mobile, neutral, mobilis, triple mobile, and so on. Okay, now you have example sentences for mob. So let's go back over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary. We're over here on Merriam-Webster dictionary, mobster, mobster. Let's get the pronunciation.
Lobster.
Mobster. Now the definition of mobster, a member of a criminal gang. And you have examples of mobster in the sentence. The first known use of mobster, 1917. Then you have mobster synonyms. Now you have mobster defined for English language learners. Learn more about mobster and so on and so forth. Okay. Let's go over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now you have synonyms and antonyms of mobster. So let's go over here to dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Mobster.
Mobster. Number one, it's a noun. Mobster is a noun. Number one, a member of a criminal mob. The origin of mobster, 1915, 1920. That's Americanism. Mob plus stir. Mob plus stir. Now you have examples from the web for mobster. Contemporary examples. Okay. The British Dictionary definition for mobster. The word origin and history for mobster, 1960 for mob, in the criminal sense plus stir. Slang definition of phrase for mobster. Okay, let's click over here to thesaurus.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Mobster.
Mobster. Now let's get, you have synonyms for mobster. You have antonyms for mobster. You have words related to mobster. Now over here to your right, you have your word origin and history. Mobster, 1917 for mob in the criminal sense, plus stir, plus stir. Okay, let's go over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary. We're gonna look up Merriam-Webster dictionary. Merriam-Webster dictionary. Thug. Let's get the pronunciation.
Thug.
Thug. Now the definition of thug, a brutal ruffian or assassin, gangster, or tough. Related to thug, examples of thug in a sentence. The origin and etymology of thug, Hindi, and Urdu, thag, literally a thief, first known use 1810. Now you have some synonyms for thug over here too. Now you have thug defined for English language learners, thug defined for kids, definition of thug for students, and also now as we noticed there was no legal, and we on Merriam-Webster. And when you look up gang, there was a legal definition for gang. But when it comes to mob and thug and some of these other words, there's no legal definition. So let's click over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now you have synonyms and antonyms of thug. And let's click over here to dictionary.com. And get the pronunciation.
Thug.
Thug. It's a noun. Number one, a cruel or vicious ruffian, robber, or murderer. Number two, sometimes this vocabulary one of a former group of professional robbers and murderers in India who strangled their victims. The origin of thug, Hindi, 1800-1810. Hindi thag, literally a rogue or a cheat. Examples from the web for thug. The British Dictionary definition for thug. Word origin. Now you have word origin and history for thug. Okay, let's go over here to thesaurus.com. Let's get the pronunciation.
Thug.
Thug. Now you have synonyms for thug, and you have antonyms for thug, and you also have words related to thug. Now over here to your right, you have word origin and history. Thug 1810, member of a gang of murderers and robbers in India who strangled their victims from Maratha thag, that cheat swindler, Hindi thag perhaps from. Okay. Okay, now you have example sentences for thug. Now let's click back over here to Merriam-Webster. Goon. Merriam-Webster dictionary. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Goon.
Goon. Goon. Definition of goon. Number one, a stupid person. Number two, A man hired to terrorize or eliminate opponents. B, enforcer. Related to goon. Now you have examples of goon in a sentence. The origin and etymology of goon, probably short for English dialect goon is simpleton. First known use 1921. Now you have goon is synonym for goon over here to the right over there. Goon defined for English language learners. And also now there was no legal definition for goon. Now to click over to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now you have synonyms and antonyms of goon. And click over here to dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Goon.
Goon. Goon is a noun. Number one, inform a hired hoodlum or thug. Number two, slang. A stupid, foolish, or awkward person. B, a roughneck. The origin of goon, 1920-1925, shortened from dialect goonie, variant of obsolete goonie, a simpleton, influenced by the comic strip character Alex the Goon in the series Thimble Theater by E.C. Seeger, 1894 to 1938, American cartoonist. Example from the web for goon, the British Dictionary, the definition for goon. Now you have the word origin and history for goon, slang, definition, and phrase for goon. Now let's click over here to thesaurus.com. Let's get the pronunciation.
Goon.
Goon. Now you have synonyms for goon, and you also have antonyms for goon. Then you have words related to goon. Now let's look over here to your right where it says word origin and history. Goon, 1921, a stupid person. From Goonie simpleton, 1580, of unknown origin, but applied by sailors to the albatross and similar big clumsy birds, 1839. A sense of hired thug, first reported 1938, in reference to Union B squads used to couch strikers in the Pacific Northwest, probably from Alice the Goon's slow-witted and muscular but gentle nature character in Thimble Theater comic strip starring Popeye by E.C. Sears, 1894-1938. Okay, let's go back over to Merriam-Webster for boss. Uh, oh, dictionary. Well, Merriam-Webster dictionary, boss.
Boss.
Get the pronunciation, boss. Merriam-Webster dictionary. Get the pronunciation again,
Boss.
boss. Now the definition of boss, number one, A protuberant part or body. B, a raised ornamentation. C, an ornamental projecting block used in architecture. Number two, a soft pad used in ceramics and glass making. Number three, the hub of a propeller. Now, did you know the Dutch settlements in North America all came under English rule in the 1660s and 1670s, but Dutch continued to be spoken in the region long after American English. The lexical heritage of the Dutch colonies include dope, stoop, meaning porch, and Santa Claus. Perhaps the most pervasive Dutch loanword is boss, from the Dutch bos, meaning master. The word first appears in the form boss in 1806, used by Washington Irving. Part of its success seems to have resulted from an American aversion to master, which was common in British use. Now, the origin and etymology of boss. Middle English, boss, from Anglo-French from Vulgar Latin, bossa. First known use 14th century. Boss is a verb. Definition of boss. Transitive verb. So, one, to embellish with a raised decoration, to ornament with bosses, emboss. Number two, to treat with the boss. Now, the origin and etymology of boss. Boss is a noun. Number one, a person who exercises control or authority. Union bosses and mafia boss. One who directs or supervises workers. Asking your boss for a raise. Number two, politics. One who controls votes in the party organization or dictates appointments or legislative measures, standing up to a party boss. Now, the origin and etymology of boss, Dutch boss master, first known use, 1653. Then you have boss as adjective, example boss in a sense, origin and etymology of boss, definition of boss, origin and etymology of boss. Phrases related to boss. Boss defined for English language learning. Boss defined for kids. Definition of boss for students. You even have a medical dictionary definition of boss. Now, there's no legal definition for boss. Now, let's click over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Boss is an adjective. We have synonyms and antonyms of boss. Now let's click over here to the dictionary.com. Okay, we on dictionary.com. Boss. We get the pronunciation.
Boss.
Boss. It's a noun. Number one, a person who employs or superintends workers, manager. Number two, a politician who controls the party or organization as in a particular district. Number three, a person who makes decisions, exercises authority, dominates, etc. Verb used with object. Number four, to be master of or over, manage, direct, control. Number five, to order about, especially in an arrogant manner. Verb used without object. Number six, to be boss. Number 7, to be too domineering and authoritative. Adjective. Number 8, chief, master. Number 9, slang, first rate. Now the origin of boss is Dutch. 1640 to 50 Americanism, Dutch, boss, master, foreman. Now you have synonyms. Supervisor, head, foreman, chief, superintendent, administrator, overseer, boss, noun. Then you have the origin of boss, boss, noun, origin, boss. Now you have examples from the web for boss. You have boss dictionary definition for boss. I mean the British dictionary definition for boss. Now you have the word origin history for boss. Boss in medicine, slang definition phrase for boss. Boss in technology. Now let's click over here to thesaurus.com. And let's get the pronunciation.
boss,
Boss. Now you have synonyms for boss. You have antonyms for boss. You have words related to boss. Now over here to your right, you have word origin and history. Boss, overseer, 1640 American English from Dutch. Boss, a master. Okay. Now you have example sentences for boss. Now we're gonna look up some more words here. We're gonna get to what we talked about last week. I told you we're gonna get to race. We're gonna get to nigger. We're gonna get to tribe, clan, and all that. But what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna look up. We encourage everybody to look up some more words like hoodlum, hooligan, and ruffian. You understand? But what we gonna look up the word pimp, and we want to look up the word whore. And we also want to look up the word player. We want to look up the word Mac. So let's do that right now. Okay, let's go to Merriam-Webster. Let's look up pimp. Okay, let's get the pronunciation of pimp.
pimp,
Okay, pronunciation pimp. Okay, the definition of pimp: a criminal who is associated with, usually exerts control over, and lives off the earnings of one or more prostitutes. Okay, you have related to pimp, definitely. Okay, examples of pimp in the sentence. Now, the origin and etymology of pimp. Probably akin to British dialect pimp, small bundle of sticks. Middle English pimple, happily. German pimp, young boy. Kid lyric, little flirt, little fart, pump spark. First known use 1701. Other legal terms. Now you have pimp as a verb to make use of. Okay, transfer verb to make use of, often dishonorably for one's own gain or benefit. Transfer verb to work as a pimp. And you have examples of pimp in a sentence. First known use of pimp, 1745. You have pimp synonym. Now you have other legal terms. Now you have pimp defined for English language learners. And you have pimp as a verb. Now the law dictionary, pimp. The legal definition of pimp: one who derives income from the earnings of a prostitute, usually by soliciting business. Compare penderer. Now you have pimp and transfer verb. Legal definition of pimp: to work as a pimp. Compare pandering. See that there's a word. Now some of the words that like gang. You had a legal definition. Then you had mob and goon, thug. There was no legal definition. When you get to pimp, then you have a legal definition of pimp. Now let's go over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now you have synonyms and antonyms of pimp. Okay. Now let's go over here to dictionary.com. Okay. Pimp. Now Also, did you notice that pimp is English word? Did you notice that? Did everybody notice that pimp is one of those European words? It's being specific from the English language. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. We're on dictionary.com. Pimp.
Pimp.
Pimp. Okay, as a noun, number one, a person, especially a man who solicits customers for a prostitute or a brothel, usually in return for a share of earnings, pander, procurer. Number two, a despicable person. Number three, Australia, New Zealand, and informal stool pigeon. Verb used without object. Number four, to act as a pimp. Verb used with object. Number five, to act as a pimp. Four. Number six, to exploit. The origin of pimp, 1630 1640. And it says here, origin uncertain. And you have examples from the web for pimp. The British dictionary definition for pimp. Word origin and history of pimp. And it says here 1600 of unknown origin, perhaps from Middle French. Pimping, alluring and dress, seductive, present participle, present participle, present participle, a pimper, to dress elegantly. From Old French, pimpalora, decorating or something. Okay. Now you got slang definition phrase for pimp, related abbreviation for pimp. Now let's click over here, thesaurus.com. Pimp. Let me get the pronunciation over here. We're on thesaurus.com. Pimp.
Pimp.
Pimp. Now you have synonym for pimp. Now you have synonym for pimp, but there are no antonyms for pimp, and there are no words related to pimp over here on thesaurus.com. So let's look over here to your right. Word origin and history. Pimp, 1607, perhaps from Middle French. Pimper, to dress elegantly. Pimping, luring and dress, seductive, weakly, suggest. Okay. Now let's go over here to now we have to okay, when we use pronunciation, we have to make sure we know what we talk, know we speak. When you say whore, now you have to, now some people pronounce it, they'll say hoe, like HOE, hoe. And then you say whore, WHORE. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the whore. Merriam-Webster dictionary. WHORE. Now we're on Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's get the pronunciation.
Whore.
Whore. It's a noun. Definition of whore. Number one, a woman who engages in sexual acts for money. Prostitute. Number two, a male who engages in sexual acts for money. Number three, a venal or unscrupulous person. Now you have examples of whore in a sentence. Now the origin and etymology of whore. Middle English, whore. From Old English, whore. Akin to Old Norse, whore, whore. So you notice that? See the words that you be speaking in this here in the United States of America. These words come from Old English. They're European, whore. First known use before 12th century. Now you have whore as a verb. And translates the verb number one, to have unlawful sexual intercourse as or with a prostitute. Number two, to pursue a faithless, unworthy, or idolatrous desire. Translates the verb obsolete, to corrupt by lewd intercourse. Examples of whore in a sentence. Now the order and etymology of whore. Okay, now did you notice there's no legal definition? There's no legal definition for whore. Okay, let's click over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. There's synonyms and antonyms for whore. See, that's the reason why you have to make sure when you pronounce a word. Now some people say hoe, and when you say whore, see, you're not, when you pronounce the word, so you're not talking about the same thing. Okay, we're over here on dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Whore.
Whore. That's a noun. Number one, a woman who engages in promiscuous sexual intercourse, usually for money, prostitute, harlot, strumpet. Verb used without object. Number two, to act as a whore. Number three, to consort with whores. Verb used with object. Number four, obsolete, to make a whore of, corrupt, debauch. Now, origin of whore, Old English. Before 1100, Middle English, Old English, whore. Continental German, whore. Old North, whore. Akin to Gothic, whore, harlot. Latin, carus deer, whore. British Dictionary for whore, word origin. Okay, let's go over here to thesaurus.com. Let's get pronunciation.
Whore.
Whore. Now you have synonym for whore. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. See, it's a good thing we look words up. See, it's a good thing. Because see, there are no antonyms for whore. There are no antonyms. There are synonyms for whore. We're over here on thesaurus.com. There's no antonyms over here on thesaurus.com, but there are some words related to whore. Now over here, let's look over to the right. Word origin, history, whore, Old English, whore, prostitute, harlot, and so on and so forth. Now you don't even have, now, did you notice over here on thesaurus.com, there are no example sentences for whore. See that? Okay. Let's go over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's check something right quick. Let's check something right quick. H-O-E, hoe. So we want to make sure that when you speak language, you understand? Okay, that's Merriam-Webster dictionary. Okay. Now I'm scrolling through this, so I'm gonna let everybody know ahead of time. And when you say hoe, let's get the pronunciation.
Hoe.
Hoe. Definition of hoe. Number one, any of various implements for tilling, mixing, or raking, especially a tool with a thin, flat blade on a long handle, used especially for cultivating, weeding, or loosening the earth around plants. Number two, a backhoe. The origin etymology of hoe, Middle English, hoe, from Anglo-French hoe, of German origin, akin to Old High German. First known in the 14th century. Then you have definition of hoe in transfer verb, mean the same thing as a tool. Examples of hoe in the sentence, origin etymology of hoe. Related phrase, hoe defined for English language learners, hoe verb, hoe defined for kids. Okay, let's click over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Now it says here in the thesaurus, the word you enter isn't in the thesaurus. So let's go over here to dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. Hoe.
hoe,
Hoe. As a noun, a long handled implement having a thin, flat blade, usually set transversely, used to break up the surface of the ground, destroy weeds. Number two, end of bearing implements of similar form as for mixing plaster or mortar. Verb used with object. Number three, to dig, scrape, weed, cultivate, etc. with a hoe. Verb used without object, hoe. Number four, to use a hoe. Now the origin of hoe, Middle English, Old French, Germanic, Middle Dutch. Hoe. Okay, you have an example from the web for hoe. British Dictionary from definition for hoe. Idioms and phrases with hoe. Now let's click over to thesaurus.com. Now, over here on thesaurus.com, let's get the pronunciation.
hoe,
Hoe. Now you have synonym for hoe. You have anonym for hoe. Words related to hoe. Example of word origin and history. Host 1363 for Old French, hoe, Franklin, so on and so forth. So it makes a difference. The pronunciation. That way you'll know what you're talking about. Some people say hoe. You know what I'm saying? Just like the pimp. You know, the pimp say, tell my hoe to come here. So, well, if you give him a tool, he don't know what you're talking about. You see the difference? See the difference? But if you had to say whore, the pimp, he knew what you were talking about. See, the pronunciation makes a difference. The pronunciation makes a difference. Okay, let's look up player. Go over here to Merriam-Webster. Okay, okay, we're on Merriam-Webster dictionary. Player. We get the pronunciation.
player,
Player. Definition of player: one that plays, such as a person who plays a game. B, musician. C, actor. D, a device that reproduces recorded material, usually from a specified medium. E, one actively involved, especially in a competitive field or process. Participant, a key player in politics. Examples of player in a sentence. First known use of player, 14th century. You have player synonym. Phrases related to player. You have player defined for English language learners. Player defined for kids. Okay. Now let's click over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Okay. Now you got synonym and anonym of player. Now you got some antonyms. Synonym. Okay. I'm not going to pronounce it. Okay. Now we're going to have to go over here to dictionary.com. Okay, dictionary.com. Click. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
player,
Okay, player. Now as a noun. Number one, a person or thing that plays. Number two, a person who takes part or is skilled in some game or sport. Number three, a person who plays parts or on the stage, an actor. Number four, a performer on a musical instrument. Number five, informer, a participant as in a conference or business deal. Number six, a sound or image reproducing machine. Let me see something. Now I noticed some on Merriam-Webster. It didn't give you specifically like the country or you know, the word origin. That's why I clicked back first. It just said first known use of player, 14th century. It tells you now. Okay, let me click back over here. Dictionary.com. Okay, now over here it does 6, a sound or image reproducing machine. Number 7, a gambler. Now it says here origin of player, Middle English, Old English. Before 1000, Middle English, player. Old English, plagiar, player. Example from the web for player. British Dictionary definition for player. Player, word origin, history for player. So on and so forth. Okay. Let's go over here to thesaurus.com. To get the pronunciation.
Player.
Player. Now you have synonyms for player. Now you have antonyms for player. And you have words related to player. Now let's look over here to your right over here. Now as you notice, thesaurus.com, they don't give you the word origin or word origin or history over on thesaurus.com. But they do have some example sentences for player. Okay. Okay, let's go over here to Merriam-Webster. Look up race. R-A-C-E. Merriam-Webster Dictionary.com. Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Race. Okay. Let's get the pronunciation.
Race.
Race. Now look at this. Definition of race. Number 1, chiefly Scotland. The act of running. Number 2, A strong or rapid current of water flowing through a narrow channel. B, a water course used industrial. C, the current flowing in such a course. Number 3, A set course or duration of time. B, a course of life. Number 4, A contest of speed. B, races plural, a meeting in which several races, as for horses, are run. C, a contest or rivalry involving progress toward a goal. Okay, 5, a track or channel in which something rolls or slides specific. A grove, as for the balls, and a bearing. Now it says here, origin etymology of race. Middle English, race, or rain. From Old Norse, akin to Old English. First known use 14th century. Race as a verb. Definition of race: and trying to compete in a race to go, move, or sons. To revolve, to pass under a diminished load. Transfer the verb to engage in a race with. Number 2, A, to enter a race. B, to drive or ride at high speed. Okay. Example of race in a sentence. First known use of race. 15th century. Now you have race as a noun. Definition of race: number 1, a breeding stock of animals. Number 2, a family, tribe, people, or nation belonging to the same stock. B, a class or kind of people unified by shared interests, habits, or characteristics. Number 3, an actually or potentially interbreeding group within a species taxonomic category, such as subspecies that represent such a group. B, breed. C, a category of humankind that shares certain distinctive physical traits. Number 4, obsolete, inherited, temperament or disposition. Number 5, distinctive flavor, taste, or strength. Origin and etymology of race. Medieval French generation from Old Italian razzle. First known use 1580. Phrase related to race. Race defined for English language learner. Race defined for kids. Race as a noun. Race as a noun. You have the medical dictionary for race. And so on and so forth. Okay. Now let's click over to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Race as a noun. You have synonyms and antonyms of race. And click over here to dictionary.com. Race. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. Dictionary.com. Race. Race. As a noun. Number 1, a contest of speed, as in running, riding, driving, or sailing. Number 2, race is a series of races used a horse and dog run at a set time over a regular course. Number 3, any contest or competition special to achieve superiority. Number 4, urgent need, responsibility, effort at one time is short or a solution is imperative. Number 5, onward movement and onward a regular course. Number 6, the course of time. Number 7, the course of life or a part of life. Verb used without object. Race. 13, to gauge in a contest of speed. Number 14, to run horses or dogs in a race, engaging or practice. Number 15, to run, move, or go swiftly. Number 16, of an engine wheel, to run with undue or uncontrolled speed. Okay, when the load is diminished without corresponding diminution of fuel. Verb used with object. Number 7, to run a race against, try to beat in a contest of speed. 18, to enter a horse car track in a race or racing. 19, the call to run, move, or go at high speed. Now it says here, origin of race, Middle English, Old Norse. Running race. Okay. Now it says here, race as a noun. Number 1, a group of persons related by common descent or heredity. Number 2, a population so related. Number 3, an anthropology. A, no longer in technical use any of the traditional visions of humankind, the commonest being the Caucasian, Mongoloid, and Negro, characterized by supposedly distinctive and universal physical characteristics. B, an arbitrary classification of modern humans, sometimes especially formally based on any or a combination of various physical characteristics as skin color, facial form, or eye shape, and now frequently based on such genetic markers as blood groups. C, a socially constructed category identification based on physical characteristics, ancestry, historical affiliation, or shared culture. D, a human population partially isolated reproductively from other populations whose members share a greater degree of physical and genetic similarity with one another than with other humans. Number 4, a group of tribes or peoples forming an ethnic lineage. Number 5, any people united by common history, language, cultural traits. Number 6, the human race or family of humankind. Number 7, zoology, variety, subspecies. Adjective. Number 11, related to the races of humankind, origin. 1490, 1500 French or Italian, raza or razor of obscure origin. Now you got synonym, tribe and clan, family, stock line, so on. Then you have race, origin. Then you have a race, again, example from the wheel for race. British Dictionary definition for race. Race in medicine, race in science. Slang definition phrase for race, race in technology. Even the phrase of a race. Okay, let's click over here, thesaurus.com. Okay, you have, let's get the pronunciation of thesaurus.com for race. Race. Synonym for race. Okay, now they have usage notes. Genetic evidence has determined the idea of racial definition of the division of the human species and rendered race obsolete as a biological system of classification. The race, therefore, should no longer be considered as an objective category, as the term formerly was an expression like the Caucasian race, the Asian race, the Hispanic race. Okay, so when everybody be over on thesaurus.com for race, you're gonna see the usage notes, and I don't see any antonyms. There are synonyms for race. Then you have the usage notes. There are no antonyms for race, but you do have words related to race. Okay, now over here to your right, you have word origin and history of race, active running from Old Norse, and then you have some other meanings or so forth. Expand. Let me click expand. And and then you have example sentence for race. And let's click over here to Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's look at the word nigger. Now we're on Merriam-Webster dictionary. Nigger. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. Nigger. Definition of nigger. Number one, offensive. See usage paragraphs below. Used as an insulting and contemptuous term for a black person. Number two, offensive. See usage paragraph below. Used as an insulting and contemptuous term for a member of any dark-skinned race. Number three, now often offensive. See usage paragraph below. A member of a class or group of people who are systematically subjected to discrimination and unfair treatment. It's time for somebody to lead American okay. Discussion of nigger. Nigger is an offensive, infamous word in current English, so much so that when people are called upon to discuss it, they more often than not refer to it euphemistically as the N-word. Its offensiveness is not new. Dictionaries have been noting it for more than 150 years, but it has grown more pronounced with the passage of time. The word now ranks as almost certainly the most offensive and inflammatory racial slur in English. The term expressive of hatred and bigotry is self-referential usage by and among black people are not always intended or taken as offensive. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me scroll up. Okay, get the definition of nigger change. There's a widespread belief that the original meaning of nigger as defined in dictionary was an ignorant person, and a related belief the current dictionary definition describing its use as a hateful racist epithet or a recent change. We do not know the source of those beliefs, but they are not accurate. The word was first included in the Merriam-Webster dictionary 1864, at which time it was defined as a synonym of Negro, with a note indicating it was used in derision or depreciation. There has never been a definition like an ignorant person. Okay. Now it says here the origin and etymology of nigger, alteration of earlier nigger from medieval French negre, from Spanish or Portuguese negro, from negro black, from Latin nigger. First known use 1574, and that's all I have on that. Okay, let's go over here to the Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Okay, it says here the word you enter isn't in the thesaurus. Click on the speller's agenda below or try again using the search bar above. Okay, let's go over here to dictionary.com. Okay, let's get the pronunciation. Nigger.
Nigger.
nigger. Okay, usage alert. The term nigger is now probably the most offensive word in English. Okay. Okay, you got usage alert. Okay, it says a noun, slang extremely disparaging and offensive. A contemptuous term used to refer to a black person. B, a contemptuous term used to refer to a member of any dark-skinned people. Okay. Number 2, slang extremely disparaging and offensive, a contemptuous term used to refer to a person of any racial or ethnic order regarded as contemptible, inferior, ignorant. Number 3, a victim of prejudice sent to death suffered by black people, a person who is economically, politically, or socially disenfranchised. It says here the origin of nigger, Spanish or French, 1640, 1650. Spanish negro, black, French negre. Okay. British dictionary, the definition for nigger. Then you have the word origin history for nigger. Slang definition of phrase for nigger. So on and so forth. Okay. Now let's go over to thesaurus.com. Okay. Let's get the pronunciation for nigger. Nigger. Now it says here nigger is an extremely profound offensive slur that refers to African Americans or black people. It is never appropriate to use this word unless in an academic context. The euphemism, the N word, refer to it as okay. Now you have usage notes. Spelling symbol. Spelling humor. Okay. You don't even have a synonym or an antonym for nigger. Now you have the word origin and history. Nigger 1786. Nigger 1568 Scottish and Northern England dialect from French negre, negra, from Spanish negro. From the earliest use, it was a carry with it all the. Okay, now there are no example sentences for nigger. Okay, now let's go over to Merriam-Webster. Tribe. Okay, tribe. Merriam-Webster. Dictionary. Let's get the pronunciation. Tribe. Tribe. Definition of tribe. Number 1, a social group comprising numerous families, clans, or generations together with slave dependents or adopted strangers. B, a political division of the Roman people originally representing one of the 3 original tribes of ancient Rome. C, file. Number 2, a group of persons having a common character or occupational interest. Number 3, a category, taxonomic classification ranking. Ranking below a subfamily, also a natural group, irrespective of taxonomic rank. Now you have examples of tribe in a sentence. Now you have the origin and etymology of tribe. Middle English from Latin tribus, a division of the Roman people, tribe. First known use 13th century. Other anthropology terms, ectomorph, ethnography, prehistory, okay. Now you have tribe defined for English language learners, tribe defined for kids. Now you have a medical dictionary for tribe. Now let's click over here to Merriam-Webster thesaurus. Tribe is a noun. You have synonyms and antonyms of tribe. And let's click over here to dictionary.com. Tribe. Okay, dictionary.com. Let's get the pronunciation. Tribe. Now, number one, an aggregate of people united by ties of descent from a common ancestral community of customs and traditions, adherence to the same leaders, etc. Number two, a local division of an aboriginal people. Number three, a division of some other people. Number four, a class or type of animal, plant, articles, or the like. Five, animal husbandry, a group of animals, especially counting descended through the female line from a common female ancestor. Number six, biology. A category in the classification of organisms, usually between a subfamily and a genus, or sometimes between a suborder and a family. B, in a group of plants or animals. Seven, a company, group, or number of persons. Now it says here, origin of tribe, Middle English and Latin, 1200 to 1250. Middle English, Latin, tribus, tribe, origin. Each of the three divisions of the Roman people, often taken as derivative of tre or tres three, though formation unclear. Related forms. Example from the web for tribe, British dictionary definition for tribe. Word origin and history for tribe. Okay, hold on for a minute. Now we back. We back. Periscope had cut off. So we on part two of Periscope, part two. Now we back over here on Tribe. We went to Merriam-Webster dictionary, Merriam-Webster dictionary thesaurus.com for tribe. You understand? We've been looking up a lot of words. You understand? But before Periscope cut off, we was on the definition of tribe. So then we clicked over to dictionary.com and now thesaurus.com for the definition of tribe. Okay, slang definition phrase for tribe in the Bible. Okay. And, okay, so let's click over at thesaurus.com for tribe. Okay, and get pronunciation. Tribe. Now you got a synonym for tribe, but there are no antonyms for tribe, but you have words related to tribe. Okay, and then you have the word origin and history of tribe. Tribe, mid 13th century, one of the 12 divisions of the ancient Hebrew or French tribe from Latin. Tribe is one of the three political ethnic divisions of the original Roman state. Tides, Ramesses, and Luceres correspond half to the Latins, Sabines, and Etruscans. Okay. Now you have example sentences for tribe. Now, so I encourage everybody that's listening. We done looked up a lot of words, time won't permit us for, go. What I suggest is when you see the synonyms and antonyms of tribe and other words such as synonyms like blood, clan, folks, house, kin, kindred, kinfolk, kinsfolk, line, lineage, people, race, stock, family, so on and so forth. Then you have related words. On your own time, take the time to look these words up, because most likely you'll find that, myself, being an African American, the words that you're speaking are not African. You know what I'm saying? They're not Niger Congo. They're not Nilo-Saharan. They're not even Afro-Asiatic. The majority of the words you speak are English, French, Latin, European. So I encourage everyone that's listening, like I say, look those words up. As you look up tribe, look up those other words. Understand? And before we end today's video, we always want to give thanks to God first. We always want to thank God for all His blessings. I always thank God for all His blessings and for His guidance and for being in our life. We always thank God. Now, when it comes to our emphasis and our focus on anti-gang, you know what I'm saying? Anti-gang initiatives and, and getting rid of gangs, period. As you can see, when you look up the word gang, your point of view, your opinion is wrong. And the United States government is right to pass laws to make society safe from ignorant people. And we want to thank the United States government for passing the Organized Crime Control Act and also the Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization Act, which is part of the Organized Crime Control Act. And as you know, the Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization, that is anti-gang, because the law itself was directed at the leaders of the gang. And thank the United States government for the comprehensive anti-gang initiative. You understand? We thank the United States government for the also for the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, Delinquency Prevention Act, which is an important law, which is also anti-gang, because when you talk about juvenile justice and delinquency prevention, that is anti-gang. We think creation of Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative and the Comprehensive Gang Model. Also Gang Prevention and Overdue Research and Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and also the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative. It includes the community-oriented policing service, and it also includes the Project Safe Neighborhoods, and also the National Youth Gang Center and the National Gang Center, and they also have a bulletin that's titled History of Street Gangs in America. And you can also go to Wikipedia and you can find information of gangs in the United States, which is referring to the National Gang Center Bulletin, History of Street Gangs in America. And you can the GREAT program, which is an acronym, Gang Resistant Education and Training. And the United States Attorney General has a law. We have a law on the books. The United States government has a law on the books. The United States Attorney has a law, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute, and number 18 United States Code 521. And also the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. They have a program, Prevent Gang Membership. And the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, also Injury Prevention and Control, Division of Violence Prevention. And also the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as the Office of Justice Program, as well as the National Institute of Justice. They have a program, Changing Course, preventing youth from joining gangs. And also anti-gang strategies, the National Institute of Justice, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. And also the United States Government Department of Justice, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the National Gang Intelligence Center, and also the Department of Justice, the Organized Crime and Gang Section, and also the United States Department of Justice and other federal departments, as well as state and local departments have agencies to address gangs and organized crime. And also the National Gang Center also has a compilation of state laws against gangs. And you have a non-profit organization that coordinates with the Bureau of Justice Assistance. And that non-profit organization is the National Crime Prevention Council. And they have a program keeping kids out of gangs. And also anti-hazing. The sororities and the fraternities, they use hazing as a tool for initiation, which means they physically assault one another, mentally and physically, and also sexually assault each other as an initiation into the sorority and fraternity. And as you know, the United States government, state and local, is against the law to haze anyone. States all around the country have passed laws against hazing because it's a crime. And and also the sororities and the fraternity, they try to teach the gangs, the little girls and little boys, to initiate each other into the gang. That's where they learn it from, the sorority and the fraternity. You understand? And and okay. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna refer to God's word in the New King James Bible, because what we want to make this perfectly clear about this gang stuff. Now, the sororities and the fraternities, they are the main source of a problem, as well as secret societies. They are the main source of the problem, because what you have to understand is this, that you have to have education. Just like we just went over the definition of the word gang, mob, thug, goon, boss, player, Mac, all this other stuff, you understand? See, when you learn all these words, you have to have education. See, let me give you an example. Some people, for example, they say you use the big words. You can't read it. Do you ever use all the words in the dictionary from A to Z? No, you don't. Because you know why? Because first of all, you don't even know how to read. You don't even know how to properly pronounce a word. When you read the dictionary, they give you pronunciation. For some people, including myself, it's still hard. It's still hard. See, that's the reason why that gang stuff is misleading. See, you make people think they know what they're talking about, but you really don't. See, the majority of African Americans in this country were denied education. So how you gonna know somebody gang? See, you have to use your common sense when you try to explain to people why you do stuff as an African American. If you don't have access to education, how you gonna know how to use language? How you gonna explain to me why you a gang member? You don't have no education. You don't even know how to use math. You don't have no education whatsoever. Period. You just making sounds out your mouth. Then you try to use your hands. Then you start writing on the ground. You try to draw a line on it, and you don't even know what you're saying. So you have to be taught. And that's what the European did. They brought all these Niger Congo and some of the Nilo-Saharan and possibly some of the Afro-Asiatic over here enslaved. And we were denied education. But we had education. We had a culture and a custom and culture when we came over. See, that's the reason why when you learn these words and you see that these words are Middle English, Old English, French, and Latin, and then you talking about you a gang, you walk around talking about you a boss. You a player, you a Mac. See, you don't know what you're talking about. See, you don't have no education. And then you have the people in the sorority and fraternity that are African American who supposedly have education. They don't try to do what's right. See, you don't try to do what's right. We just try to promote anti-gang in the African American community. You support the gang. And that's wrong. That's wrong. It's wrong. And that's what we've been shown, that it's wrong. The United States government is doing everything it can to make it perfectly clear that gang is wrong. And then what do the African Americans and the sorority and fraternity do? They sit around and try to go against the government. And the government doing right, then they turn around and try to beg the government for food stamp, welfare, talking about you want to get a job. You're going to try to make the government do right in the Trayvon Martin case in the Justice Department. What the Justice Department did was right, but anti-gang. See, you can't do wrong on one hand. See, that's the reason why justice is blind. See, you can't tilt the scales of justice. See, that's the reason why it's wrong what you be doing. See, the scales of justice supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be balanced. You don't tilt the scales of justice one way as an African American, and then gonna talk about you want to be in a gang. And then when it comes to police brutality and what they call it, profile, racial profile, you want the scale of justice to tip back this way in your favor. But when it comes to the gang, you want to be a blood gang and a crip gang. So now the scale of justice being tilted back this way. No, it ain't that way. The scale of justice supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be balanced. Scale of justice supposed to be balanced. See, that gang stuff is wrong. It's wrong. But we're gonna go to God's word in the house of worship. In the house of worship, they try to make it sound like being in the gang is right. You got all these people sitting up in the house of worship talking about they in a gang. But we just went over the word gang and thug and goon and boss and all them words. As you see, it's wrong. So we're gonna go to the King James Bible. That's what I have. I have a King James Bible. Version. There are many versions of the Bible. And also about the Bible and about religion period when it comes to the Judeo-Christian, that handwriting. I did something about that. We addressed that on my past video about handwriting. When you say this is God's word, see, when you say it's God's word, then you talk about the handwriting. You wrote a line, so it'll be all kind of controversy. It'll be all type of controversy. People all around the world get to argue about the handwriting. So we're gonna start in the Old Testament, the book of Genesis. Now, what we're referring to is the story about God destroying man with the flood. Now we're gonna start, like I said, we're in the King James version of the Bible. There are many versions of the Bible, and we're in the book of Genesis. And we're gonna start in chapter 6. Starting at verse number 1. There's no such thing being in the house of worship. Talking about you in no gang. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuing. See, you can't be in no gang. See, God telling you right there, you can't be in no gang and being in the house of worship. And they repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the earth, for it repent of me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generation of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. See that? See, the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Whom shalt thou make in the ark? Shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. And when it shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it, and behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy son, and thy wife and thy son lying with thee, and of everything, living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather to it, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Now, I read it right there, but you can start at chapter 1 in the book of Genesis, because as you know, God, started, creating, God said, let there be light. And then, you had a story about Adam and Eve, and then God had to punish Adam, Eve, and the serpent for being disobedient. See, you can't disobey God. And then you get to the point where he's talking about man being evil in his heart, his imagination being wicked and violence in the earth. And so we read chapter 6, but the flood story continues, chapter 7 and chapter 8. And now let's refer to the New Testament. Let's go to the book of Matthew, where we know Jesus is speaking. We're going to the book of Matthew, the Beatitude. Going to the book, we're in the New Testament, in the book of Matthew. We're starting in chapter 5, the Beatitude. And this is Jesus talking now. That was God talking in the Old Testament. That was God talking in the Old Testament. Now we're in the New Testament. Now it's the Son of God, Jesus. See, you can't be in no game. Be in that house of no. Inside or where's outside, you cannot be no game. Being no believer of God and Jesus. Okay, we're in chapter 5, verse number 1. And seeing the multitude, we're talking about Jesus. He went up into a mountain, and he was sick. His disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them. See, saying, see, this is very important. See, you see the multitude before Jesus started teaching them, and then Jesus started teaching the multitude. See, that's very important. It's very important. See, you can't be in no game. Because see, Jesus started teaching them. Blessed, and started teaching me and you. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salt? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world, and city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one title shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribe and Pharisee, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and thee remember that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust, after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee, and one of thy members shall perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorce. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saying for the cause of fornicating, cause her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her, that is, divorce, committeth adultery. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oath. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than this come upon evil. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that asketh thee, and for him that will borrow of thee, turn not thy way. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor, and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, the Beatitudes, they continue in chapter 6 and also in chapter 7. And also, go to Luke, go to the book of Luke. Okay, we over here in chapter 6. Now, go to the book of Luke. Go to the book of Luke. We just read the Beatitudes, and in the New Testament, in the book of Matthew, we just read the Beatitudes, starting in chapter book of Matthew 5, 6, 7, and 8. The Beatitudes. Now, turn to the book of Luke, and you'll read the Beatitudes in chapter 6. Right. starting in verse number 20 and all the way over to verse 49. There'll be attitudes. And we're gonna get ready to end today's video. And like I said, you can't be in a house of worship. Talking about, gang members, and being more specific, the Church of Christ. You can't be no gang member. You can't be no gang member. You can't be no gang plus stir, no mob plus stir. You can't be no thug. You can't be no goon. You can't be no boss. You can't be no player. Understand? You can't be no Mac. You can't be no pimp. We got the definition of pimp. You can't be no whore. We're not talking about the H-O with hoe. We're talking about the whore. Get the correct pronunciation. Hoe and whore. We're talking about the whore. You can't be no whore in the Church of Christ. See? No. See, we're going to stand on God's word because God is the example. God is the example that we follow. Put God first. And we're going to get ready to end today's video. Again, my name is Eric D. Johnson. Also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county sheriff, it's in the state of Tennessee. And thank all my fans, my support for your continued encouragement and support. And like I said, we're going to put God first. Put God first. And put all that gang stuff behind. Because it's wrong. It was wrong yesterday. It's wrong today. It's going to be wrong tomorrow. So put God first. Till next time, take care of yourself. Wish everyone you very best.